guys, I'm JanetOnOccasion, and today we're playing another Total War Warhammer Battle Replay. So, if you saw my video yesterday, you'll see that the Dwarves absolutely kicked my ass by bringing a load of gyrocopters. So, I'm doing the same. So here I've got a couple of gyrocopters, got another 3 over here. I've got some Longbeards, a couple of chevrons. I've got the Grumbling Guard, I've got some Iron Breakers, and I've got the Warriors of Dragonfire Pass. So, and also a couple of Thanes, and a Runesmith and a Rune Lord. So, slightly different from the guy's build yesterday. I think it was a Demon Choro who used that build, which was really cool. Made a couple of changes though. So I brought a couple of Runesmiths, just in case they brought ethereal ethereal units, because they can just melt them with the Rune of Wrath and Ruin. So I feel that's kind of useful. Also, that damage negation means that this blob can, can stay alive for even longer than before. So that's really good. And also the Thanes can just, they can just fight things forever. They're great. Nice and tough. And obviously we've got the Warriors of Dragonfire Pass. That fire damage is always useful against the vampire counts, especially things like Crypt Horrors. They don't get their, they're weak to fire. So it's pretty handy. So slightly different to the guy's build yesterday, but yeah, I think slightly improved upon. So here though, really feel sorry for this guy. He's got a Lord in the air, so obviously I'm going to single him out pretty quickly. He's got some Blood Knights, which I think is actually a good pick. Because, I mean, they're anti-large, but, right, so what I'm thinking with this guy's army, because he's got a big front line of Skeleton Warriors, and then 5 units of Crypt Horrors, which is awesome. So the Skeleton Warriors, they're obviously not going to kill many Dwarves, but they're going to take so much damage, while the Crypt Horrors do all the damage themselves, So I think it's a really good build. Also, the Mortis Engine, they can keep, they can keep that safe in the back line, and that's going to keep doing, that's going to keep sapping the enemy's health. And Dwarves aren't the most manoeuvrable, so if you keep them away from, the sort of ranged units that the Dwarves might ideally bring, then, you're alright. Just summon zombies on top of them, and, Mortis Engine will stay alive for quite some time. So I just brought a Banshee, which I think is quite a good pick. They got armor piercing, and, do they have armor piercing? No, they don't. They got magical attacks, which, Dwarves are actually quite good against. But, they're also armor piercing. So they do actually do a fair bit of damage against Dwarves, and it's very hard for Dwarves to attack them, unless you brought Thorgrim, because I think Thorgrim is the only magical attacks that the Dwarves bring, actually. Also got the Warriors of Dragonfire Pass for the fire attacks, but, pretty good. So straight away, start getting some damage on their Vampire Lord, and start getting some damage on the Mortis Engine. So, lovely. But yeah, the Blood Knights, though, I think are actually a good pick, because they'll be really good at shutting down, sort of cannons and ranged units and stuff like that, and they're absolute troopers. So although they don't get the anti-large bonus, they're still going to be really, really tough. Having something manoeuvrable that's that heavy, I think is really useful against the Dwarves, so I think it's actually quite a good pick. So I actually really like this army, but unfortunately I just brought a lot of pretty good counters to it. Although, the amount of Crypt Horrors, it's going to be hard to, whittle all of them down with my gyrocopters. One thing I could have done, but I didn't want to be too cheesy, is I could have put these units over here somewhere and made him really travel, so I could have, done way more damage on my gyrocopter before it even got to me. But I thought, enough's enough, let's just have this happen. So at some point I think, yeah, here we go. So he tries to get a Wind of Death here, which would have been really good. So annoyingly I actually moved forward instead of back. But he does a bit of damage, but because he was casting on the move, he ended up losing that great angle he had. So so it didn't do quite as much damage as it should have done. So that's a pity. But, worth a try, because obviously if he can get a nice Wind of Death through all these guys, I'm going to take so many casualties. So it'll be really useful. That, and he had to use some of the Winds of Magic with his Vampire Lord. Because, yeah, he's going to be dead soon, so we might as well try and get some use out of him. So you see Mortis Engine taking absolute beating, so that's really good news for me. His Lord's taking an absolute beating. And Blood Knights are coming in. So I'm using Stand Your Ground and the Master Rune of Oath and Steel, so plus 60 armor, plus 32 melee defense, another plus 30 armor for the Rune of Oath and Steel. Rune negation's a bit gone off as well, so that's another 22% damage resistance. So this little blob is going to be so hard to take out. You can see here, though, he actually jumps in with his Lord, which is a very good idea, because it's much harder for me to hit him now that he's in there. So, Mortis Engine, so he's used a Invocation of Heck on everyone, so good call. So he only used one spell, but it's hitting his Mortis Engine and his Lord, which is really good. And it's obviously keeping all of the stuff in the fight a bit longer. So he also summoned some zombies behind, 2 lots actually, just try and get a nice surround, so get bonuses from being attacked in the rear. So you can see my Longbeards are already starting to take pretty huge hit to their leadership, so that's a really good shout. So I'll start doing some bombing runs, try and help trash some of this infantry. So I just do them one at a time, and have the rest keep firing. So he pulls his Blood Knights out, because cycle charging them, he's going to get the best value out of them. And I am actually starting to hit them a bit with my gyrocopters, so that's good. So you can see though, his lord has actually got a lot of his health back, so that's pretty good going. So yeah, managing to keep him alive was really good. But yeah, if he kept him in the air, he would have got taken out. But now he's amongst this massive blob, and it's very hard to, you know, pinpoint him. So yeah, very wise throwing his lord back in. But you can see, the mortis engine's gone, so he's lost that. A lot of units are on the verge of crumbling now because of the bombing runs. So, so that's good news. So yeah, start getting a rune of Wrath and Ruin on the Blood Knights, because that's always good just to, you know, keep their health low. Because if he's going to keep cycle charging, I want to make sure that when he comes in, his models don't have as much health, so I can actually kill a few, which would be nice. But you can see he's taking a lot of damage. My Longbeards are about to break by the looks of it. So you know, he is, yeah, he is definitely giving me a bit of a beating here. But you know, just sustained combat, Dwarves are just the best at it. So they can sit here all day, really. And yeah, look at his army, a lot of health dropping now. But he's still got a lot of Crypt Horrors, which is very good. So I've been trying to single them out with my Gyrocopters. But you'll see they're actually running quite low on ammo at this point. So yeah, he's got a lot of large monsters for me to take out here. And that nice Invocation of Heck at the start, you know, that would have recovered from a lot of the damage that I was doing. So yeah, very wise there. So oh, I think I've actually taken out his lord now. I decided to try and single him out with. Oh no, he's still alive. So yeah, I try and single him out with my heroes. And somehow these Longbeards are still going, so that's pretty good. So yeah, still 26 models, but very low health. So yeah, his Blood Knights, they're starting to, yeah, they're starting to go by the looks of it. Yeah, they start crumbling. But yeah, still got a lot of Crypt Horrors in here. So 8 there, 7 there, another 4. Those ones are having a bit of trouble, but they've still got 6 models. So yeah, still a lot of armor piercing they've still got. So a bit tricky. But yeah, he pulls out some of his other units, which is a good idea because I've just been bombing them. So it means I can't just hit them all. So it's quite good having them in reserve. Unfortunately, he had run in with everything, and I used I think all of my bombs before he actually pulled out. So a bit slow there, but it was a good call. Because yeah, having everything blobbed up like that, it wasn't going to do so well. Especially with the brimstone guns. If they'd missed, Crypt Horrors, they would have hit something. So yeah, pretty good going though. So the Banshee still totally fine. So I can't really do a lot of damage to that Banshee. I think my Warriors of Dragonfire Passer in here somewhere. Yeah, there they are. But they're all on the other side of the field. Actually, still a few over here. So yeah. So I got a bit of fire damage on her, but I bet she's just healing through it. So yeah, damage is being done. So I've sent all my Gyrocopters in melee, because, may as well. They've run out of ammo. And they haven't got a lot of armor piercing besides the Crypt Horrors. So if I send them against these like Skeleton Warriors and things, they will actually hold up pretty well in melee. Because there's no armor piercing or anti-large that they have. So the Gyrocopters are actually alright in melee. And here we go, everything crumbles. So although it's pretty interesting, see that build that Demon Choro brought yesterday, like it's really good. It works really well, and this just sort of proves it. And look at that, 116 kills with the Eyebreakers. That's kind of fun. But I mean, look, loads of kills from all the Gyrocopters. And all that is just sort of trash infantry, but they were able to take out the Mortis Engine. They did loads of damage to the Lord. They would have taken out a load of Blood Knights, a load of Crypt Horrors. The amount of damage they were doing is just fantastic. And yeah, my front line held. Well, it wasn't really a line, was it? It was a blob, but it held. And that's all you need to do. So it's pretty cool build against the Vampire Cans. So yeah, if I'm ever up against Dwarves, I'm definitely not bringing the Vampire Cans anymore, because I do not want this to happen. Oh, I say that, I still might bring an Air Force, see what happens. Bit of a gamble, but it should be a fun match either way. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, comment, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day, everybody.